Blessings everyone. Just making another video. I'd like to know what everybody thinks of the term techno-pagan. I was out going for my daily walk today and I had my phone with me and I was listening to the Pagan Centered podcast. Now, I think it's just a really interesting concept in general, because I know that obviously there is a new age, the age of Aquarius is coming, some believe it's already come, but with this new age and new generation, obviously there's a lot of advances in technology. But do you believe, I'm not sure what I believe just yet, but what do you guys believe? I'd like to know what people think about this. Do you believe that technology is starting to take over too much? In a lot of concepts, yes I do, especially when it comes to paganism and all of the beliefs that may fall under that umbrella. So, you know, Wicca, witchcraft, anything that could be termed an earth-based religion. You know, it just seems that these days everybody's vlogging, everybody's blogging, everyone's networking, everyone's on the internet. So I feel that in some respects, not all respects, I know there's a lot of people, especially people that hold more traditional beliefs, that don't believe in, you know, all of this new technology. They really hold true to the concept of, you know, conversing with the divine and doing everything naturally. None of this internet, none of this blogging. And sometimes I actually agree that it is taking over a little bit too much. As far as my path is concerned, if I didn't have the internet, I would probably be still just trying to figure out what I believe in this path. I probably still wouldn't hold a clear concept of what witchcraft and Wicca is. You know, I'd be obviously looking to places like my library. If the internet didn't exist, where would we be? So obviously it has so many pros, but at the same time I think it has so many cons. I think that especially for the new generations of, you know, teen witches, Wiccans, druids, pagans, you know, all minority religions, I'll go for this one. I think that in a lot of respects it is drawing them indoors as opposed to drawing them outdoors. You know, it's almost encouraging people to be on YouTube all the time and to be watching our videos instead of going out, either, you know, sitting in nature, communing and making your own videos. You know, we're encouraging a lazy generation. And, you know, that being said, that's not just for the paganism, that is in society in general. We're encouraging laziness. I believe that I spend too much time online. I have the Pagan Vale Facebook page, I have the Pagan Vale website, I have my YouTube page. Now I run my YouTube page, I run the Pagan Vale website, which I do primarily on my own, so it takes, you know, it's almost like a full-time job. So I can spend, you know, up to 10 hours, if not more, a day online, checking emails for the website, you know, responding to those emails, responding to YouTube emails, and half of my day is gone. And I think, wow, you know, what have I got time to do now? You know, for example, last night I actually turned the computer off. I just calmed myself down. You know, I was all in tears watching some ridiculous prejudice video on YouTube, and I was like, no, I don't want to watch this anymore. So I switched it off, I ground and centered myself, and I spent an hour meditating, and I haven't done that for a long time, and it felt so good. I think it's just sometimes the really simple things in life that we forget when it comes to this path. Oh, can you see me? You know, I feel that with these new generations and the advancements in technology, we're encouraging people to more or less, in some respects, certainly not all, but in some respects, we're encouraging people to become techno-pagans. Even in a lot of books that we see written these days, in their they always have a resource section, and they're just pointing to the internet. You know, everybody researching the internet, just go straight to the internet. You know, instead of encouraging people to perhaps go outside and read a book, to sit in nature, you know, get to know the elements, feel the ground, you know, beneath you, feel the air, you know, in your hair, you know, just sit, you know, there's nothing better than feeling the wind in your hair. I must admit, I do like that. I like that windswept look, although it never really seems to work for me. But then again, I'm not a supermodel, so You get what I mean? But I think that like I said, we're encouraging people to come indoors and, you know, to sit indoors, to perform ritual indoors. A lot of people don't actually have the option to go outdoors a lot of the time, so I understand that. But anytime you do, go out there, you know, go and shimmy around in the grass. I mean, you don't have to roll around in it like a dog, but go out and just get down with nature, you know. If you don't feel like writing a journal or keeping a personal journal, I know that I don't. It just doesn't work for me. I just go out and I put my thoughts and my feelings out there. I commune with the Great Mother Goddess, and who I consider to be the Father God, my patron God and Goddess. I will sit and I will tell them the way I'm feeling, you know, any problems I'm having in my life, you know, and I put all my energies back into the earth. I mean, the earth gives us so much, and what do we really give back to it a lot of the time? You know, I feel like we take, and sometimes we really do just forget the most simple things in life that are the most beautiful and give us the most pleasure. So I would like to know what everybody else thinks about this. You know, it's sort of a silly concept even posting it on YouTube, considering, you know, we're talking about techno-pagans and I'm posting it on YouTube. I get it, but I think anybody who's a little bit older that may be watching this video, you'll understand where I'm coming from, because a lot of you will still go out and, you know, even do rituals outside, give offerings, go outside. A lot of you have outdoor altars, all that sort of thing, but there's a younger generation that doesn't understand that. They understand that it is an earth-based religion, but they still will primarily do everything indoors, on the computer. Everything revolves around phones, cameras, the internet, television. You know, I would really like to know what would happen if we couldn't access any of this for just 1 week. You know, essentially it doesn't sound like a long time, but if you really think about it, if you couldn't use the internet, if you had no power whatsoever, what would you do? Where would we be? Yeah, so I think that that's really interesting. You know, and I felt like a real techno-pagan today myself when I was walking in the beautiful Black Hill Reserve, and I've got the Pagan Centered podcast. No offense to you guys, I love you guys. But I was listening to it, you know, and I was so enthralled. I got to the supermarket and I still had my headphones on, was walking around in the supermarket with my phone up in the air, listening to the Pagan Centered podcast, walking. I got back to the car, and then when I got halfway home, it actually hit me that, oh, I'm going to post about techno-pagans, because I have suddenly realised I am one, or I could, you know, I could really define myself as a techno-pagan in some respects. I don't think a lot of people would like to admit it, and they say, no, I'm not like that. But if we really sit back and look, I think a lot of us probably are, to some degree. I know that for me, if I didn't have the internet, I would feel quite lost. I do, you know, because I am solitary, I spend a lot of time networking and communicating with people online, and that's just the way I practice. I find, and I guess this is a good point for, you know, for the flip side. A lot of people feel like they don't like to go to community events. They feel uncomfortable. A lot of people have actually said to me on my own website that they feel there's a lot of ego, you know, and they don't like that. They like to just, you know, follow their own path as eclectically as they like to, which I guess in, you know, in some respects, yeah, I can see that, because I am one of those people. I've actually been reconstructing my Book of Shadows, and today I couldn't even get the bloody printer to work, so there you go. And that really pissed me off. But I couldn't even, you know, I've started printing my Book of Shadows. I get a Word document. If I had to write it, I'd be there for a month of Sundays. And, you know, some days I feel like my personality changes, and my handwriting, I feel like it changes too. Some days it's really neat, some days it's really messy. I look like a toddler writing. No offense to small children, of course. Yeah, but, you know, it made me realize today that, you know, even I need to get down with nature a little bit more. I really need to start going outside a lot more than I do. You know, no tools, no books, nothing. Just me and nature. Me and the divine. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. you know, and not too long ago, that's what most people relied on, and now I feel like the concept of the earth-based religion is somewhat being taken over by technology, not intentionally, but it's happening. So I feel like sometimes, where are we going to come to a point where, you know, techno-pagan will actually be a term that will be quite frequently used. You know, I'm a techno-pagan. Instead of saying I'm an eclectic Wiccan, I'm a techno-Wiccan. I feel like that's what we're coming to in some respects, and I don't want it to be like that. This is an earth-based religion, so I really encourage everybody, you know, if you're really true to yourself and admit it to yourself, anybody who's watching this, do you spend too much time on the internet? Because you probably do. I know I do, and I'm happy to admit it, and it really made me realise today that, you know, I really need to pull my head out of my ass a little bit and get outside and just go and roll around in the grass, and you know, really get back to what's true to me, and stop you know, stop using the internet as my way of connecting with the divine in some respects through communication with others. You know, that being said, of course, I'm going to still keep making all my videos. I really enjoy that you guys all love watching them, but I think that this point of techno-paganism, if you could call it that, is a really interesting concept. So if you guys have anything to say about it, please leave a comment below. As my motto, everybody knows that I'm very strong opinions on prejudice and religious tolerance, so please do not argue if you're posting comments below. Debate, don't discriminate is my motto. I don't think there's any need to be nasty to other people. We'll all have our own opinions on this, but I would like to know what everybody else thinks. Do we believe that this is happening? Do we believe that you know, technology to a degree is taking over what is supposed to be a beautiful earth-based tradition? Your thoughts. Blessed be.